Civis Pacem. Hello to another division of ours. Today we will show you a nice win, I guess. One can call it so. And you will probably see the precise nature and why we called it the surgeon. And
Yeah.
we should jump right into it, right?
Okay. At that point, I wanted to show the audience how we archive the videos, or better, the games, the records of the games. It's just a simple string file, and we have them in our archive. And so I'm going to Control A, Control C. Now it's I have to Control F6. So now into the notepad, Control V, and then I'm clicking the load button, and now the game is magic inside. Okay, let's.
Then you could dive in if you wanted to.
Okay, right at the start.
You know,
But you
wouldn't
could
make a
just
lot of
play an
sense.
ordinary game. Oh, it's okay.
Oh, no, I don't want
Let's
to.
get ready to rumble!
Okay. That was
Michael Buffer, boxing. You're probably a little too young.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say anything about that. Let's get back to the actual thing we want to talk about, the setup. And I usually, when he does this, it's kind of, he always does it. I do something
Often.
around.
It's my new setup because I'm trying to bring in my soldiers from the flanks, and that way I'm bunching them up a little together.
By the way, the first, I don't know, 7 moves usually don't really matter, as you know, you
Okay,
can kind of play a lot, unless you
that's true.
blunder.
That's true. If you don't blunder a complete piece, yeah.
And so we just moved stuff
And
around.
now comes the first step ahead, a little poking into the defense line. And it's well defended here. Estetis and Sagittarius. So this one is very important to block the way of the Equus. Yeah.
Yeah, I just made it so if you would move, you know,
It could become unpleasant.
it was like, okay, fine then, I'll move.
Oh yeah, marching forward.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a very aggressive move.
I know now. I wanted to prevent this, and
Yeah,
that's
but
kind of inconvenient,
it
right?
is very aggressive and not really defensive. I mean, if this one would have been gone, my Tribune would be completely open.
That's right.
But you are not going for a counterattack here with a ballista. You are preparing something else. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to for a. If you, oh, I was going for that because this opened up now, and I wanted some. I wanted this defense.
Yeah. Okay. So here it's defended by 6. So now, yeah, it is possible to create a ballista. Even if it falls, the countermeasures will slaughter down my ballista. And I have not many opportunities at hand because, okay, I could wait for you to come, but, well, I was hoping that why are you taking back?
Yeah, I wanted to show something.
Okay.
Just real quick. In this position. Wait a second. Ha. In this position, you might
Hmm.
You might be able to do something along these lines where you take here. And that would force me to take here because this isn't defended enough anymore. And I thought this might be scary.
Yeah, that would be unpleasant because I could take and take the
I,
spot with the Hestatus, and
yeah,
my
I could
ballista would
open
remain
that
in my
up.
own lines. Ah, okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the problem. Okay. But this is
Mm.
most likely what I found a little unpleasant. So
But it's
just
directly
look
offering a melee.
just look for such things where before you take, you kill the guards. That can be annoying.
Yeah. So as
Base.
I was mentioning before, there are not many opportunities, and this is a little distraction of the Equus I thought, because this line was very threatening, and by pulling the Equus to the center, yeah, he has two lines now here, but they are not directly attacking my Tribune. Of course, two equity together can always form a centuria or a ballista, and well, I'm under attack again.
I
Yeah,
did this because I did not see a way through. Maybe in the future by just doing this, and if I have this on this line. But I didn't see a way forward after something like this.
and why didn't you take the Hestatus from this side? So the Equus would have remained here.
Yeah, but that's what I meant. I did not see a way through.
Ah,
When
okay. Oh,
this is a
solid
barrier.
concrete and yeah, okay, too solid.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm just staring into a wall and trying to win a staring contest.
Yeah,
That's
that way this Equus would have been a complete idiot. And this is just, I know what's coming. Here would be a ballista cutting me off, and it's like when you're in chess and you are getting checks all the time. You are forced to move, and I didn't want to be forced and bullied around. So yeah,
yeah, and I thought, well, if he does
and
this,
your
then
attack is quite strong. You have some bigger units. Again, laser beaming. Yeah, this is the step backwards to become to get more cover from all the sides. So it's becoming solid again. But I'm losing room. Yeah,
that's true.
that's the next attack here. This one is undefended. So I'm
It's not.
constantly under pressure.
It's not. It's defended.
Ah, okay, it's okay. Oh,
I thought in the
that's Tribun.
future.
Eh? In the game, I probably saw that.
So
Yeah, I saw that.
I think I want to do something where this moves, and then I can kill
Hmm.
this.
This is always a
That's the
problem if you
long
have, yeah, if you have only one guard or one very important guard to keep up the defense, then a little distraction or maybe wounding of this unit may open up a different spot.
and this wouldn't be like a concern for me, even if that wouldn't be defended.
But it is at the moment.
Yes, but if it were not, if you
Mhm.
move and kill it, maybe that's
Kill
Emperor.
or Impero. Mhm.
You can go here, and I don't think you want to be in the business of,
Yeah,
fighting against this.
completely kicked out because you are coming with tempo here, and yeah, we many times saw this constellation when you have an Hesteris commanded, and maybe you're decombining to a Sagittarius on top. This is a quite threatening unit when it's nearby your Tribune.
Yeah, and what you did is you just
Switching the color complex completely because your Tribune is on the dark spots, the dark hexes, and yeah, and Yeah, you were preventing me from forking you here. The equus here would have forked you, so that would have been nice, but now it's
I didn't
impossible.
want you to get any closer.
Hmm.
So this is the closest you can get. Well, first you took.
Yeah,
This is just one. Oh,
repair. It's okay. That's why we have the repair button. And you saw that if you would counterattack, I would take the. Let's step one step backwards for educational purposes. If you would attack me here, I would lose 2. Then I would counterattack. So still, I would have, let's say, 3 taken units, and you just got 2. So I'm have a material advantage.
see it here. You have one
and
thing
and
more.
you're threatened again, and this is not so nice.
Pleasant. I mean, you know, I'm blocked here. In the future, when I want to move,
Well, that's wait a minute. Sometimes you see that the units on the board suddenly jump, and this is when we reset the board to the correct position again. We have the repair button, we press it, and the system knows we are at step XY, and yeah, this is the correct position, so we can proceed with our replay.
yeah, I think we never mentioned this.
Yeah, sometimes we have to add this because, yeah.
And that's why I did this. So
Yeah.
I lost one thing anyways, but now I'm the one posing the problem.
Hmm.
And you see, this one is feeling
Yeah,
is
okay. It's
delicate.
just covered by this unit. Yeah, threatened by 2 ballistae. But here comes the pressure.
You can also see
It's a nice little in-between move.
yes, and I stepped out of the way.
You could have blocked, but that's okay. And what did I take? It was a Sagittarius, right?
Yes, it was a Sagittarius.
Yeah, I was simply counting. I took one in a previous move and then taking 3. So if I'm losing 4, it's completely fine. I'm equal.
And I'm not quite sure to why I didn't take with this guy. And
Yeah.
it had to do with me wanting to go down here. And
Yeah, let's see. Let's take a step backwards. If you would have taken with this one, I could have done something like this, and it's anger or angor again.
I
Angor,
think
angor means fear in Latin.
this is
Ooh,
this is a
yeah.
little bit annoying.
This is something I constantly blank out. Impero, yes. This tiny little rule inside Tribun, and it's changing everything. This normally it's not good to take Impero inside your own lines, but in the middle game it is, because you have many bigger units, long range weapons, and you have enough room.
That would have been a nice thing to do,
Yeah.
but I didn't. So let's resume to the game.
The
And
disadvantage of Impero is you didn't kill the unit, so if you are forced to leave, you have nothing left, and you're just down material.
and you're quite weak.
Yeah.
So if I were sitting on him, oh, not like this. If I would be keeping them hostage, any
Yeah.
attack would kill them. So just because
Yeah,
this,
just this one. Without the Sagittarius would suffice. Yeah.
so
And
no,
always remember, the ballista is not allowed to take Impero, but it can be taken impero.
Yes, that's important.
So changing the color complex, still blocking the line. This was very important, as you mentioned before. You wanted to go here. I'm defending this spot and blocking it right away. Changing the color complex, posing a threat here. So you're leaving, yeah?
And you have very few movement options, but you can go there. So
And
that's it.
I have to say, this was the entire plan. Not the obvious thing to attack this equus. I really wanted to go here, because from here I'm attacking again. And you are, yeah.
And you know, I saw that, but I just completely blanked on it, and I were just, I will kill you. I just, in my mind, you had nothing. Or rather, in my mind, I was like, yeah, I'm like 2 moves away from winning. Just, just deal with his aggressions, and good things will happen. And you know,
Yeah,
that
we
did.
saw that several times in quite similar situations, and I lost. And now I'm getting close, very, very close. And yeah, you are feeling it. That's why you combined up.
By the way,
Yeah,
this would have this would not have been as bad.
because the spot opens up.
Yes,
Yeah,
I did take this one, and that's why I died. And I don't really see how you would do it in this.
I don't know. Let's take
Maybe,
let's
yeah.
take this dice. So the escape fields. If
This would be nice, and this would be nice.
yeah, this would be nice because attacking here from an undefended spot, keeping control of all these spots with the status, and a very important service, taking control of this spot and covering and guarding his archer. So it would have been next anyway.
Well,
So
that tells me that you shouldn't combine to a 3 high unit. And I think you did just that. Yeah.
I did the same thing, yeah.
I kinda I had to bite the dust. I think I gave up, yeah, I did. What if that was very aesthetic.
Yeah, yeah, the movement in itself, very smooth, yeah. And that's why we called the game the surgeon, because this knife comes, the scalpel is here, and cutting directly out the Tribune. I'm a surgeon, cut for the very first time. I'm a surgeon, and now no heart beats next to mine. Sorry. Okay, now we're getting in trouble with the management of Madonna. Probably. But it was worth it.
Well,
No, that
I
wasn't
don't
okay.
see.
You could escape by combining here to a ballista, and then I am in trouble, I would guess, because you have a lot of escape fields by just hiking away or attacking directly into. So I have to be very careful in this position.
Yeah, so probably it would have been better to combine to 4.
Let's roll the
You
dice.
know,
Okay.
again, I didn't bother. I was like, well, I will go boop, and I will go,
No,
or
probably.
I would go here, and I would go something like here,
You would completely scatter your units around. Okay, it's a nice tactic, though.
and maybe this. And
We have to expand the rules, maybe.
this was what I had
Yeah.
in mind.
Okay. When I didn't had any moves, and you could move 4 times in a row, then maybe.
Well, that looks kind of crushing.
Yeah, that's right. I found it was a nice revenge for all the last games we showed to you. I was always the one to surrender, and this time I prevailed.
But
That's
in
life.
real life, I had a bad losing streak.
Yeah, but you broke the spell with a very nice game we called Invasion, and that's a little cliffhanger. We will show it someday if
Well,
you stick to
we
our
planned
channel.
it for the next week or the week after, didn't we?
I guess. Yeah.
So,
We
you
have
know,
such a lot of videos
the way
because we are constantly
two
playing.
videos.
Sorry, I didn't. I was interrupting you.
Oh, that was maybe my bad. It's 2 videos. So, uh,
Yeah, I lost 2 games in one.
yes, because we used this handy diving up.
Should we
Yeah, so
spoiler this? Should
if
we?
you think I'm just dumb, you can go here and do better.
That's something we have to add. If you have a copy of the Tabletop Simulator, okay, you downloaded Steam, you installed it, and you have Tabletop Simulator and our game, then you can at any time do the same as we showed you at the beginning of this game, because the replay of every game is attached below the video. You just take this text file, copy it, put it inside of your game, and you can do and replay the complete game of ours. And as Max showed you, you can dive in and show that you are better than we are.
Yeah, and you
Maybe.
can maybe play against the computer.
Yeah.
We I joined in a session with where my dad played a computer, and you know
Mhm.
I came there just before next, and there was a nice sequence. It was next and two.
Yeah, we already recorded this game, and maybe we are showing it someday to show you how, hey, the computer is playing quite nicely. But it's not too tough, so even beginners can learn a lot from this computer and can prevail.
So then,
Okay,
are
I
we
would say, yeah,
already
we are
in
at the
the?
goodbye screen now.
We could have done this in the goodbye screen anyways. But yes, so I think this was maybe instructive in the sense that you should not give your opponent the possibility to just move into your position and take your soul.
Yeah, it's too close in your territory.
Um, and I would say see you soon.
On
Bye.
Tribun.